HardRockChick, see you in the pit. HardRockChick, HardRockChick, see you in the pit. HardRockChick.
Hello, everyone. This is HardRockChick. It's been over 5 years since my last interview, so I'm really excited to be back and have my first interview be with the Ghost Wolves. Today, I'm in California, and the Ghost Wolves are coming at you from Texas. So I have Carly and Johnny here. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Okay, so to get started, we're gonna just have some fun questions. So, can you each tell me what your first concert was?
Okay. Well, one of the very first and most memorable ones was when my aunt snuck me in to see the Cramps in Houston at Numbers, and totally life changing, unbelievable experience. I'm sure you can imagine you being a child snuck in. It was amazing. It was amazing. That was mine. How about yours, son?
I went to see a Civil War reenactment with my uncle, who's a Confederate Civil War reenactor.
Yeah.
And they were like fife and drums with like the big drums, and I was like, drums are cool. And then I wanted to play drums after that.
Yeah,
so.
I can see that. There are a lot of
Mine is
drums
not very,
in
not
that.
way not as cool.
Yeah, Carly, I grew up knowing about Numbers in Houston. That's a legendary venue. I think it finally closed down, like, I don't know, not that long ago, maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah,
So
legendary
sad.
place. Yeah. Clearly that show had an impact on you. How old were you?
13-ish.
Wow.
I can't remember. But
Okay.
yeah, my aunt had this whole story, and she just worked her magic. I really don't know exactly how she got us in, especially, me. But we didn't have tickets. I don't know how she got us in, but she did.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really crazy fun.
And then what's the last concert you went to that you bought tickets for?
Right when the pandemic hit, we bought tickets to go see Flaco Jimenez and Reverend Horton Heat in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really cool. And then we were going to go see Diane Word play.
Oh, God. Cool.
Do you know them?
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous. And we still have to go see them, but we can't use them. So we're just, I don't know.
We did buy tickets to go see Joan Jett at the rodeo.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
We also saw George Jones on that same stage. So that was
nice.
Really cool, too.
Yeah.
Different crowd.
Awesome. Okay. What's a song or album that you're totally obsessed with right now?
We're terrible music listeners.
We are. We just
listen to ourselves.
Yeah,
mostly.
well, because we work on what we're recording, and then, you get obsessed with it. You want to hear it. You want to hear it through every different
No,
speaker.
I know what we're obsessed with right now is WWOZ Radio from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh.
We listen to all their oldies stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so that station, it's the greatest radio station in the world, and we play them like when we're working in the yard. We'll have them on streaming. I don't know what they're playing, but it's all like Zydeco and Cajun and like early R&B and.
Oh, I love it.
And then they archive all their shows, so you can go back several weeks and just pick a show, and there it is.
Yeah, they play some really deep Cajun cut stuff that's all in French, and it's just, probably like the local band from Lafayette that nobody's ever heard of except for in a 20-mile radius.
Yeah. What's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten about your music career?
Well, Alejandro Escovedo told us one time, never settle for people that aren't giving you exactly what you want them to be doing.
For sure.
And also don't do heroin.
Yeah. True words.
Another good best advice we've ever gotten is just don't stop. We get that a lot. Don't stop. So, I mean, that's pretty good advice.
I know you played for 5 people a night and you made $10 and someone spat in your mouth and then you slept in your van in the parking lot. But just don't stop. So that's good advice for a band.
Yeah, for sure. What is I know you guys have lots of super interesting music gear, but what is your favorite piece of music gear at the moment?
Right now, at this very moment, the Farfisa. It's just, I mean, it's everything. I can't even.
Yeah.
Nothing compares to that sound. So
yeah, we've been pretty into keyboards lately. So, but just the real original analog old gear, like vintage gear. And I got my dad bequeathed upon me his Wurlitzer electric piano from the 60s that he had since he was a kid.
So that's a close second.
So we shipped that to Texas, and it's living in our studio now. So it's
so awesome.
One that his parents bought him when he was a teenager, and it's just like the coolest sound. It's got
a wonderful sound.
Yeah, you can't make that sound up with a computer. Or something.
Yeah, you can't digitally replicate that sound on either of those instruments.
Yeah, the Farfisa is the same way. It's just all transistors and
amazing.
Through an amplifier, it just sounds really good. So
it's heavy.
We love keyboards now.
Yeah.
But we still love guitars too.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we're our keyboard phase.
Yeah. It happens. It
but
happens.
I have a new guitar coming.
I heard about that. So Carly, you want to talk about the guitar you have coming? Yes.
Yes, I do. It is a guitar that's made from a guy in the Netherlands that we met. We played with when we were on tour there last February. And he was playing this awesome guitar. And I said, oh my God, where'd you get that? He said, actually, I made it. And I was like, wow. And so he has this little company and he just hand makes them. They're called Evil, but they're Holland, so it's W for V. But anyway, so after a while, after he saw our show, actually, because he was like, wow, he was really into it. And we talked a lot about his inventions and the way that he's wired different things. He's kind of like an inventor and maker guy. And then a few weeks later, he emailed me. He's like, hey, why don't we collaborate and I'll make you a custom guitar. I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. So we've been kind of back and forth, and it's finally ready. It's finally ready for him to ship over to me. So that's the next step, is receiving it.
It's super Bo Diddley looking.
It's so cool.
It's awesome. Got a Bo. If Carly and Bo Diddley decided how to make a guitar, that's what it would look like.
Yeah, and there's metal components to it on the face, and the shape of it's kind of inspired by a wolf head, and it's white.
Wow.
And then the electronics are really interesting on it, with like a dual a stereo output to where you can have different pickups on different strings, and all these different ways to configure how it sounds. So I'm excited. I'm so excited to just mess around with it and play it.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. Back in February of last year, you guys were finishing up a tour in Italy, and you shot this amazing video for Day Will Follow Dawn. It's an awesome video. Can you talk a little bit about that? And then that kind of dovetails into the COVID story of the whole world changing and you guys being in the epicenter of the COVID epidemic, where everything was being shut down, and we were freaking out that you guys were going to come back in one piece from Italy. And then you emerge with this amazing video.
That is definitely, it's stained in our memory forever, because especially, those are the last real gig. That was the last tour we went on. That was over a year ago now. Well, it was about a year ago because it was in February.
Yeah, we would have just been starting it a year ago.
Yeah, for us, that's a long time ago. Not play a gig and be on tour.
Yeah, we got really lucky with that video, Jamie, because a girl and her partner from Italy actually contacted us while we were on tour and it was 24 hours out from when we were going to be showing up in their village in Tuscany.
Oh my gosh.
And they said, they said, hey, you're coming to our town tomorrow and playing a gig in our little village, and we want to make a music video with you before you have to load into the gig. So can you come at 2 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock? And we almost said no because we were just so exhausted on, being on the road, and it's really hard to get up early and do stuff, and usually. So, but I saw her stuff. I actually checked out her reel, and I was just blown away. Her name's Erica Arante, and her partner's named Pier Francesco. And so they said, okay, she sent me a Google Maps pin, and she said, meet us on this mountainside at 2 o'clock tomorrow. It's right outside the village you're playing in. And so we just drove our little van up on this mountain, and there they were, and the wind was blowing, and this just vista view. And they're like this really artistic, beautiful, I think they're a couple, I'm pretty sure, but they're awesome, and they're really stylish. And they started pulling all these costumes out of their little hatchback car. And they're like, put this on, put this makeup on your face. And they did our makeup. And we shot with them for about 3 hours, and we were there about 3 hours. That's it.
2
locations, 3 hours, and then we went and played the gig. And then that night, we actually drove out of Italy. We went all the way to France overnight because that was our last gig.
Well, and we would have stayed that night in this beautiful Tuscan village, but the news was getting pretty bad that they were closing borders, and that we didn't want to get stuck there. Our flight was in a few days out of France. So we just packed up, and, we said, thank you so much. We'd love to stay here. We hope we can come back here and stay sometime, but right now we got to go.
Yeah. So we drove all night, and the owner of the club who booked us, he actually made me a espresso shot in a bottle with a cap on it, and had 7 shots of espresso.
Oh my god!
All night, and then at 1 a.m, we just got in our van, and I just drank 7 shots of espresso. And we got to France around 6 a.m. Went to a hotel at the airport, and that was it.
We found a sort of their version of a Home Depot or something, like a hardware store, and we got N95 masks.
Yeah, we bought the last N95 masks on the rack outside the airport in France at the Home Depot place.
But we were able to get some masks before we made the flight, so.
Yeah, I mean, we were just, and the really eerie thing was driving, we were driving through Milan on the highway, and the exits were shut down. You couldn't even exit in that area where they had all the.
Yeah.
If you needed to go to the bathroom, go get food, or.
I mean, it was like a zombie movie. It felt, because we were the only ones driving down this autostrada at 4 a.m, and you can't even exit. You can't even buy gas.
No gas.
You can't do anything. And
it was eerie.
It was eerie, and I mean, we did a podcast because this is freaky. We should document this.
Yeah.
And then we got to Paris, and luckily we got home. The weirdest part was when we got to the States, they didn't ask us shit about where we'd been. They didn't say, hey, have you guys been to Italy? Have you been to China? Have you been anywhere near this thing? Because this is dangerous. No, they didn't care. We
got back.
We just waltzed into the States.
The very beginning of March. And then by the time we were back for, our next gig was supposed to be Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I remember.
March. And that was the first gig that got.
Yeah.
It was
Friday the 13th was the first gig of 150 gigs that got canceled for us.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Friday, March 13th.
First.
Yeah.
The club canceled. It was finally kind of getting it that things needed to be shut down a little bit. So I mean, it's for the best, but it was.
But then the people who did the video, Erica and Pier Francesco, they actually finished that video during the Italian quarantine, which was super hardcore. They couldn't even leave their apartment building.
Yeah.
They ordered in, and they made these scenes out on their little patio, and they were able to do all of that stuff.
They were really strict over there, and they persevered, and they did that video. And then in April, they sent it to us, and we did your video. How did you do our video when you're living in your apartment 24 hours a day? So, yeah, it was pretty crazy. But we're lucky we found them, or they found us. So
say that one of the reasons why they found us is because she's a big fan of Third Man Records, and she follows their Instagram. And when they were posting about our release with them, our 7-inch that came out, that's how she found us. And then she was following us, and we were in Italy near where she lived. And so it all kind of just happened all at the right time. And the other thing that happened was the night before we were supposed to play in Rome, which would have been like a 6-hour drive to get back to her village where we were playing the next night. And at the last minute, that gig fell through. So we were in the area so we could actually get to meet her earlier in the day. So, I mean, it's just a lot of things fell into line.
Isn't it weird when that happens? It's like weird timing stuff that just something lined up that made things happen the way they were supposed to happen, I guess, you know? Rock magic.
Very lucky. Yeah.
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 Why don't you talk about how you signed with Third Man? Like, what's the story behind that?
Well, we started sending them our stuff when we first started the band because we love them. So it was years that we've been sending them our stuff, years and years of touring, going through there, contacting them, telling them we're playing in Nashville, telling them we're playing in Detroit, sending them our stuff, sending them, persistence.
Yeah.
And then finally, they really liked what they heard, and they said, "Hey, we'd like to put this out." And we were just completely blown away and like excited, and it was amazing to work with them.
Yeah.
So.
They're great, and I love their attention to detail with, I hate to say the word product because that's so like marketing shucky, but in a digital world, to have a company that still believes in physical releases is cool. And like, I've been to the Third Man Records shop in Nashville. This has been almost 10 years ago, but like walking in there and just seeing all this stuff, and it was like, oh my God, I'm going to spend so much money here. It's like, they just do cool stuff, and their vinyl club and all that stuff is cool too.
We got to play in their store and that store, and also in the one in Detroit, and it's inspiring, and it's just really an honor to be working with them.
And let's talk about your birthday live stream in September. It was so awesome. We had just moved out here, and it was like 120 degrees outside, and we were moving furniture, and we logged in to watch it, and it was just so refreshing. It was the first like live stream I'd participated in, I guess. So I didn't really know what to expect, but I was just blown away at how much work you guys put into it. So
we almost killed each other a few times.
Yeah, a few times. There was almost a criminal murder scene on the video set.
Well, as long as you filmed it, you probably would have gotten something out of it. So
yeah, the problem was we came up with the whole idea way too late. So then it was like a crunch to get it all done by my birthday.
Yeah.
Next time we'll give ourselves more time.
We'll give ourselves like a year next time.
You strike me as the type that maybe you work good under pressure. I don't know.
We're just masochists. We just like hurting ourselves over art.
You had told us like pay attention to the second song, but I was so like out of it, I'd forgotten. And then like a minute into that second song, I just like snapped and I was like, oh my God. And then I started like bawling when I realized what it was. So I don't know, do you want to talk about that song in particular a little bit?
Yeah, well, if it wasn't for you and Bryce's birthday and us coming out to hang out with you guys, that song wouldn't exist. So there's that.
Yeah. It's totally normal that we take our new friends and make them watch Nazi exploitation porn movies. I don't know if that's inspiring for you to write music about.
It's normal.
But yeah, I mean, you guys did a different video for every song that you were working on, and I guess were most of the songs, if not all of them, are songs you're working on for your new album?
Yeah, they're all works in progress, and
We're kind of like slow rolling a new album basically, but just doing stuff like that. That's just for people who want to see the exclusive content and they want to pay a ticket, to watch online while we work on the like the public release. So we're kind of just for people like you guys who are cool and want to just be behind the scenes with us.
So obviously COVID has ruined chances of touring for almost a full year now. But I know you guys did one show where you were like playing on the banks of, was it the Pedernales River or something?
Or
the Guadalupe.
It's Guadalupe. Yeah, we were down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and to have that be one of the only gigs of last year, it was a good one.
It was the best only gig we could hope for
Yeah.
at that point.
So you're playing like on the side of the river while people were like floating by on tubes and stuff, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were people there like over and there's this guy like fishing and he was up in his waders.
So Texas.
But then there were a bunch of hippies on the lawn. Like they took a festival that's normally like a couple thousand people and they sold like 300 tickets basically.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was real minimal, and it was a camping festival. And they give you a mask on the way in. I mean, because it was outdoors and it was spread out, we felt okay about it. And also their production value was ridiculous. Like we were playing on this stage that could have served thousands of people, and there were like 200 people there, and it was.
And what was cool, they even had the big screen halfway back. We were on a Megatron. Are you kidding me?
They were on a Megatron. There were like 250 people.
That was awesome.
It was really fun, and they did a good job, I think, keeping everybody safe as best as they could, and keeping their festival going, which is important too. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Texas is trying. Like Lukenbach's still having things, with regional acts. Green Hall is still having things. Even the Moody Theater at ACL is still having tabled shows inside, Antone's.
Yeah.
But California is having nothing anywhere. And it's killing the industry. And I'm really trying to talk to people about it here, saying like, look, you guys, I know that you feel like you can't go see music, but you've got to start thinking about, if you're going to the grocery store, you can go see a socially distanced concert. You've got to start trying to have something, at least, maybe it's not seeing Beyonce, but you could go see something regional that doesn't have to travel, It's just really grim out here. So I don't know, like, what are you guys hearing about booking things for later on in the year so far?
You haven't heard anything about booking anything. But I will say, well, we were listening to WWOZ, the New Orleans radio station, and they're still having, they're still trying to figure out a way to promote these musicians and get them paid. And, they're having these spread out things. And there are a few things happening in Austin. We haven't participated yet, but there are efforts, but it's hard. I mean, it's dangerous too. Like, it's tricky.
It's so tricky.
Margin Walker just closed. That's a giant organization in Austin and nationwide, but they were based in Austin.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big deal. And venues that we've played, these smaller venues, I mean, they're closing. They can't survive. So I don't know where we're going to be on the other side of this.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are doing a great job. You are one of the hardest working bands out there. Like, you're constantly doing something. You got to work right away making masks, Carly. Like,
I can't stop.
Idle hands. Devil.
Like, I know that you donated a lot of masks. I'm assuming to Hill Country Memorial. Is that where a lot of them went?
Yes, the Hill Country Memorial Hospital was one of the places that we donated because I was sewing them out at my parents' place. My mom was helping me, and we made a bunch for the community out there. And then in Austin, we also donated to several organizations. Health hospitals is where some of our masks went. So, I mean, there was a lot of need, and we had some time on our hands because all our canceled. So.
Well, and we had some people who they buy a mask and they'd also donate some money to like help cover materials and stuff like that. So a lot of our people around the world were helping us, manufacture them and cover the costs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
And so we already had a lot of cool materials, and so we just decided we'll jump into the mask making. Everybody needed one, and it was something that we could do. And got to work on it. And
yes.
Still making them. I mean, orders trickle in, but big rush at the beginning there when everybody needed one.
Yeah, that was awesome. I have one. I recommend everyone go on your merch store and order one. And you're wearing, Carly, one of your shirts that you designed. And Johnny, viewers, if you go on the Ghost Wolves merch store, you might see a familiar face on there modeling a shirt and a vest I have here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice.
And HardRockChick.
I opened up the mailbox shortly around the new year, and I got this card in the mail. The Ghost Wolves. I would like to think that, my husband and I are the only ones that get these, but I know that they send these out to, their fans, and handwritten postcards. I mean, this is awesome. Like, you guys are hard workers. This is amazing.
We love
you.
People like snail mail.
You guys are on the list.
Now, did you hear about the most recent thing we're doing?
Oh, yes.
The lathe cut vinyl?
Talk about that, yeah.
Well, while we're on the subject. Tell them about the lathe cut.
Okay, so we partnered with a company in Austin called Old Faithful Records, and they make these super cool, one-of-a-kind lathe cut 7-inch records that they're cut one at a time on an actual lathe, so they're not stamped like a normal record. They're actually cut.
Wow.
And yeah, so they're really limited, and we've been doing covers of bands that we're, inspired by, that are in our histories, and more importantly, bands that are deceased or defunct. So we call it the Ghost Series, and they're super limited. Like, when people order them, we print them one at a time for each order. So and now actually we're doing these where you can hire us to write a song for you or a friend, and you can actually get it printed on a vinyl like this.
That's so cool.
That's what Charlie's doing.
The other thing that we're doing, along with each Ghost Series release, I'm doing a block print. So this was the Blaze Foley one, and that's the art for it, How the West Was Won. And then the second one was for the Cramps, People Ain't No Good. So I'm doing these block prints on paper, and then my next goal is to turn this into a screen print. And that's what I'm working on now, and then I'm going to screen print, like tote bags and stuff like that. So we're just real hands-on with this. It's like every record is hand-done, from start to finish.
There's no sleeping in, scrolling on Instagram, COVID, lost track of days thing going on with you guys. Like, y'all are working.
For us, it's just fun to put energy into something and then to see somebody enjoy it, like yourself. You're wearing that vest and you make it look awesome, and it's cool that we did that, and now you have it and you're rocking it. And that's what's important to us.
Yeah, really.
We like to see the final product, so that's fun.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
Look at you. But also, like, with these custom songs and the birthday songs, like, it's really fun to kind of get so customized for somebody and then just to see their reaction. Like, it's really rewarding to put the time into it for
Totally. Okay, you guys did a Cramps tribute, right? Live stream, and that was with Guitar Wolf, right?
We did.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing band. Amazing band.
Totally.
Them.
They're out of control.
Totally.
We were supposed to go on tour with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that
We had 4 gigs with them in September of this last year, and then one morning they called us and they were all canceled at one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
done,
I was
like,
bummed.
40
I wanted to go
Let's
see
say-
that. We wanted to be your roadies for that tour, so that bummed us out. But anyways, so we're gonna finish the interview. I'm gonna turn on some Cramps and we're gonna have a dance party, and that will send us out.
Love it.
All right. Need our sunglasses.
Oh yeah, definitely need the shades for this.